Part 149. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1481. In the distance, 3 huge warships drove over. On the warships, there were more than 300,000 people from each tribe. At this moment, their state seemed a little sluggish, everyone's pupils showed hesitation, and they each huddled together, and when they walked out of the warship, their eyes were full of panic. It's just that when they saw the bloody dragon's head banner of the human emperor's palace, surprise expressions appeared on their faces. It's the flag of the emperor's palace. Yes, it is Palace Master Fang Fan who came to save us. We will be able to return to the human plane soon. Long live Hall Master Fang Fan. Hall Master Fang Fan. Hall Master Fang Fan. It's just a pity that my elder brother committed suicide on the way back. We were able to save a life, and it was all thanks to Hall Master Fang Fan. Kneel down and thank Palace Master Fang Fan. Hall Master Fang Fan is mighty. Hall Master Fang Fan is the lord of my human race. He is the emperor of my human race. We should call him the human emperor. Human emperor. Human emperor. Human emperor. Millions of human clansmen stepped out of the Haoshan Pavilion battleship and gradually came to Fang Fan. Their eyes showed infinite enthusiasm and excitement. Well, the plan to be harvested by the god of death at any time. But now, there is another village. They return to the human plane again. Zhang Ao. Lead the team to welcome the return of the tribe. Fang Fan's gaze was like a torch, and he gave an order. Immediately, the Emperor's Legion, Yiteng Legion, Temple Guardian Legion, Holy Sky Legion, and War Slave Legion all rushed out, and the battle was boundless. The human race should be united as one. If the human race wants to be revitalized and strong, they must grow together. Fang Fan breathed a sigh of relief as millions of people from the human race walked into the human plane one by one. Everything has been settled. Fang Fan looked at Hao Yun, the son of the master of Haoshan Pavilion, who was lying on the ground trembling, silently picked up his neck, and threw it out heavily. The people of the human race have returned, and his life will be exchanged with you. My human race has always been a clan of reputation. Fang Fan raised his head indifferently, looking at the hundreds of warships in front of him, looking surprisingly calm. Wu Peng, the guardian of Haoshan Pavilion, gritted his teeth secretly, first checked Haoyun's injury, and after he felt that it was not fatal, he ignored it. He looked at Fang Fan and the human plane, and the corners of his mouth gradually raised a sneer. Master's order. The human race wantonly detained Master Haoyun. The crime is heinous. Today, Wu Peng, the chief protector of the Haoshan Pavilion, follows the order of the master of the pavilion and implements a genocide strategy against the human race. Pull the human race. Trample the human race. Haoshan Pavilion practitioners, attack. Wu Peng, the guardian of the Haoshan Pavilion, gave an order, and the entire battlefield shook. Hundreds of giant warships rushed over directly under the coercion of 3 small warships, and the battle was extremely strong. Wu Peng Dafa, what are you doing? Who told you to attack? Withdraw. Withdraw quickly. That Fang Fan is not easy to provoke. Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of the Haoshan Pavilion, clutched the injury on his broken arm, and then shouted with a flushed face, from his point of view, the human race, that is a forbidden area. After staying in the human plane for so many days, he deeply felt the strangeness and power of this race. The scene of Balin Protector being beheaded and killed was vivid in his memory. From Haoyun's point of view, he didn't want to be captured by Fang Fan again. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1482. So now there is a chance not to escape? Still staying here will only add surprises. At this moment, Hao Yun no longer has the slightest desire to take revenge, and only wants to calm things down. Master Haoun, this is an order from the pavilion master, so don't worry about it. As Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, spoke, there was a hint of contempt in his gaze towards Haoun. Where is this? Can't hold it anymore? It's okay to be captured, but now you don't even have the guts to take revenge? No wonder he didn't get the pavilion master's favor, that's it? A wastewood one. Wu Peng, great protector. I will talk to my father, but you let them evacuate back. Protect me and return to Haoshan Pavilion. This is your responsibility and obligation. As for the others, let's put it aside for now and discuss it in the long run. Wu Peng, the Dharma protector, you don't listen to my orders. Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of the Haoshan Pavilion, was speaking with cold sweat all over his forehead, and his shouts were filled with infinite urgency. He, come here. Protect our young master Haoun. You must protect him. Don't let young master Haoun suffer any damage. I will return after I level this human plane. Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, strode away as he spoke, his eyes flickering with pride. Hao Yun wanted to continue to dissuade him, but there was already a group of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners blocking his way. Hao Yun opened his mouth, eyes full of despair. It's cold now. Bastard. You're going to regret it, you're sure to be. You have no idea how weird that Fang Fan is. It's fine for you to kill yourself, and drag so many elite practitioners from Haoshan Pavilion into the water. Stupid. Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of the Haoshan Pavilion, cursed a few times, but found that there was no special effect. The corners of Hao's mouth twitched, his eyes scanned the surrounding area, and then he backed up for a certain distance, choosing a relatively safe place to stop. This moment is safe. If the cultivator of Haoshan Pavilion can level the human plane, it will be fine. If there is any accident, he can also choose to flee at the first moment. The great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, Wu Peng, who was sprinting, naturally also observed Haoun's movements, and could not help showing a sneering look on his face. Thinking of this in my heart, the sarcasm on my face became more and more. Tiger, father and son. I was surprised by such an unknown small force. What a waste. Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, thought this way in his heart, and his speed became faster and faster. The battle is on the verge of breaking out. Fang Fan looked at the hundreds of giant flying warships and 3 small flying warships rushing madly towards him, with a silent expression on his face. In fact, he had thought about this result. Dealing with these wolves, tigers, and leopards is more or less dangerous. If you are not careful, you will face swords. That being the case, it should be the best to prepare in advance. Annie, come out to fight. You are in charge of dealing with the great guardian of Haoshan Pavilion. Fang Fan looked at the colorful and charming woman standing beside him, with a solemn look on his face. She's a girl, it's not good to fight and kill. The colorful little female dragon Annie stretched her waist with a lazy look on her face. Cut off his head, 100 decoration cards. Fang Fan curled his lips, he still didn't know what this guy was thinking. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1483. Don't worry. This little shrimp will be killed immediately by my aunt. The colorful little female dragon Annie cheered up, and then jumped into the air with excitement, and changed into a dragon-shaped battle state. My lord, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion is also a 3-star sanctuary. The weak point is on the left chest. Na Yan, the owner of the heavenly secret star disciple god, came over from the side and told Fang Fan. Na Yan, as a disciple of Tianji star, naturally has excellent prediction ability. Although he is still in the Emperor's realm at the moment, there is no problem at all in predicting the shortcomings of a wave of enemies' cultivation base and combat power. Annie is also a 3-star sanctuary, so it doesn't seem like a big problem. Fang Fan nodded silently, thinking to himself. With the current situation here, there is no need to worry too much. At this moment, we must focus on the remaining Haoshan Pavilion practitioners. 100 giant flying warships are actually 100 quasi-jihadist forces. The 3 careful flying battleships are the 3 1-star sanctuary forces. Moreover, there are millions of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners gathered in these flying warships and warships. Obviously, they have been prepared for the purpose of completely obliterating the race. He even made a good idea from the very beginning. Once Hao Yun was rescued back, he would launch a fatal blow. It seems that they feel that they are determined to eat the human race. The great protector of the Haoshan Pavilion in the 3-star sanctuary realm. Millions of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners. Since you're here, let's all stay here. Fang Fan secretly clenched his fists, his eyes flickering brightly. Patriarch Baisha, lead the slave army to charge. The Human Sovereign Legion is taking care of it. Holy Heaven Legion, Wing Ten Legion, Temple Guardian Legion, protect the human race. Blood Shura Legion. Responsible for killing the enemy's sanctuary powerhouse. Yellow Turban Warlock Legion. Sacrifice call is on. Low Heavy Machine Gun Corps. Firepower to the rescue. The rest of the major legions, attack with the army. 6 heroes, 4 favorites. Charge. One after another cold snort came, and the surrounding space also vibrated. The real bloody battle begins now. Fight till the end. The battle is endless. This is the swiftest battle. Sublimate in battle, thrive in battle. In terms of high-end combat power, the human race is not lacking. Annie, the colorful little female dragon, battles against Wu Peng, the most powerful 3-star sanctuary realm Haoshan Pavilion protector of the enemy. In the Haoshan Pavilion, outside of the sanctuary, there are only 2 1-star sanctuary level guardians, and besides that, there are hundreds of quasi-sacred level practitioners. As for the other ordinary cultivators and soldiers, all of them were above the true king realm. The slave army corps is barely comparable to it in terms of configuration, but the slave army corps only has a staff of 100,000, and there are millions of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners in front of it. The gap is not irreparable. In terms of battle strength in the sanctuary, the Hall of Human Emperors has an absolute advantage. There are 7 1-star sanctuary realm Blood Shuras from the Blood Shura Legion, plus Huang Gan, the patriarch of the Desolate Clan, and there are 8 sanctuary realm members. The 2 1-star sanctuary level guardians and the 3 small flying warships that can exert 1-star sanctuary level combat power in the enemy army are no more than 5. The difference in combat power of 3 sanctuary realms caused a rapid imbalance in the battlefield. Luo Hu. Use the Legion's exclusive skills. Quickly strangle the 1-star sanctuary level guardian of Haoshan Pavilion. Cause a greater imbalance in high-end combat power. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, his eyes were like lightning. The battle is instant. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1484. At this moment, such an artistic conception gradually becomes real. Only by having the courage to fight to the end can we be fearless in the present moment. After receiving Fang Fan's order, the Blood Shura Legion quickly began to deploy. Azura Unite. Whoosh whoosh. The 7 1-star sanctuary level Blood Shuras merged into one in an instant, and their combat power was raised from 1-star sanctuary level to 3-star sanctuary level in an instant. This is capital. A 3-star sanctuary can be slapped to death against a 1-star sanctuary. The two 1-star sanctuary realm guardians in Haoshan Pavilion were stunned for a moment, and before they could wake up from the shock, they were trampled to death by the blood Shura in the ultimate state, and beheaded the other with a Shura knife. With a snap of the fingers, the two Haoshan Pavilion 1-star sanctuaries were wiped out. The scene instantly became horrifying and shocking. Everyone's eyes were focused on this, and they were completely stunned. This operation, by God, how can I bear it? Protect Zhao Yan and Protector Qiao Fa were killed. This, just rushed over. Did you die like this? I'm so nervous, so scared. Calm down. Be sure to calm down. What a big deal, I'm afraid to be like this. We are Haoshan Pavilion practitioners. We still have millions of elites to attack. Kill. Trample the human race, and the great protector Wu Peng will be rewarded. The opportunity to make contributions is here. Everyone must control it. Follow me. Kill, kill, kill. Invincible. Invincible. The death of the two Haoshan Pavilion 1-star sanctuary realm guardians did have a certain impact on the Haoshan Pavilion cultivator army, but soon they gradually recovered and continued to attack. This time the attack seemed more urgent and swifter. At this moment, the warrior slave legion has rushed over from both sides, but it is difficult to stop the charge of millions of cultivators in Haoshan Pavilion. Bales. Shooting. Fang Fan gave an order, and the low heavy machine gunners began to fire rapidly. 12 legal heavy machine guns poured out crazy bullets. Every minute, tens of thousands of bullets are poured out, causing even tens of thousands of casualties among the dense crowd. A law bullet penetrated not only the chest of a Haoshan Pavilion practitioner. After the burst law bullet exploded, it even exploded along with the surrounding area. The whole field was bloody. There is a throbbing sense of death in the air. The morale of the millions of cultivators in Haoshan Pavilion was like a rainbow, but after being beaten severely at this moment, no one is willing to charge forward. One by one, all curled up behind, humbled to survive. The soldiers on display in the front row fell down row by row. They saw it in their eyes and felt fear in their hearts. Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, who was fighting fiercely with the colorful little female dragon, also noticed the situation of the battle, and fell into a state of confusion for an instant. This was very different from what he had imagined. Error. Something must have gone wrong. The real situation is definitely not like this. Impossible. You, an unknown little force, how can you compare with the mighty military power of my Haoshan Pavilion? Who are you? Who is behind your back? Is this a game deliberately targeting me at Haoshan Pavilion? Speak up, brat. Otherwise, I'll kill you right now. Wu Peng, the guardian of Haoshan Pavilion, temporarily fended off the colorful little female dragon Annie, and then rushed towards Fang Fan's position recklessly. He still knows the truth that the king is captured first when the thief is captured. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1485. Although the current situation is very bad, as long as Fang Fan is caught, everything will turn around. Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, thought this way in his heart, and the madness in his eyes became more and more obvious. There are many obstacles coming, so it is impossible to overturn here, right? If this is the case, then it is really useless. Ah! How dare you beat my aunt? My aunt fought with you. The colorful little female dragon Annie shook her dragon head, then her dragon claws scratched in the air, and rushed over angrily. This slap in the face was too painful. How can this be tolerated? Naturally, we must hang and beat all dissatisfied. Seeing the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion's 3-star sanctuary realm rushing towards him, Fang Fan didn't show much fear on his face. On the contrary, there was a look of relief on his face. It's time for the final kill. Na Yan. Increase the combat power of the colorful dragon Annie, and reduce the combat power of this 3-star sanctuary level guardian. Fang Fan said something indifferently, and the indifference on his face became more and more. Such a posture was put on, and he was completely unscrupulous. Obey my lord. Na Yan was holding Sinan, the exclusive artifact of Tianji seeing disciples, and then he was chanting those obscure spells. Control the battle. Na Yan finally gave a dark shout, and then 2 rays of light shot out from Sinan in his hand. One black light wrapped around Wu Peng, the guardian of Haoshan Pavilion, and the other white light wrapped around the 7-colored little female dragon Annie. Battle control. This exclusive magical skill is to control the battle scene. Increase the combat power of the designated target by 1 time, and reduce the combat power of another designated target by half. And regardless of rank is. This is the horror of war control. Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion who was running, suddenly frowned. How did my combat power drop so much? What's the situation? Who is playing tricks in front of me? Who is doing it in secret? Wu Peng roared a few times, but no one would answer him. The colorful little female dragon Annie, who was chasing after her, shook her confused head, and her face was full of doubts. How did my speed get faster? Well, I feel that the strength in my body has also increased. It's in great shape. Roar. The 7-colored little female dragon accelerated and came directly behind Wu Peng, then stretched out her dragon claws, and slapped down viciously. Boom. The surrounding space trembled, and everyone's eyes were focused on it, each feeling extremely shocked. It seems, the feeling is not too strong, and there is still some sense of fear in my heart. Following the full blow of the colorful little female dragon Annie, Wu Peng's body quickly fell into the air. Puff. I killed you, killed. Puff. I'm not reconciled. Puff puff. There were endless shouts, but what awaited him was disaster after disaster. In the process of falling, Wu Peng vomited blood faster and faster. It seemed that he was seriously injured. I turned out to be so powerful. The 7-colored little female dragon shook her claws, with a surprised look on her face. While she was talking, her face became more and more arrogant. Let you hit me just now. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. The colorful little female dragon is obviously quite vengeful, and continued to attack while shouting. With his combat strength cut in half and Wu Peng in a seriously injured state, he was naturally unable to support him. His eyes were full of horror. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1486. Don't, you can't kill me, I am the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion. Don't you want to live? Haoshan Pavilion will not let you go. Ah! Boom! The body of Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion, fell to the ground, and there was a sound of collision. Everyone's eyes focused on each other, and they were all horrified. The dignified 3-star sanctuary, is it so cold? At this moment, the mentality of those Haoshan Pavilion practitioners has completely collapsed. At this time, naturally there is no hope of continuing to forge ahead. What lies ahead of them is a dead end. This is a dead end. Thinking of this, the frightened expressions on their faces grew more and more. The great protector is dead. The great protector Wu Peng is dead. Who, withdraw. Quickly withdraw. Quickly run. Hurry up and run. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sure I'll die. Damn it, too humble. Why is this inexperienced person so powerful? I'm so panicked. Grass. Don't get in the way. Let labor and management run first. What the hell, why? Are you too arrogant to try? What? Are you still unconvinced? Want to do it? Then come. Let's see who is awesome. Grass. I can't kill you. You two idiots, what time is it? Run away. Don't be so inky. The scene once blood collapsed. The frightened expressions on the faces of the practitioners in Haoshan Pavilion are very real. Facing such a desperate attack, he had no choice but to run away. If you continue to hold on, you will lose your life. Looking at the nearly 1 million Haoshan Pavilion practitioners fleeing wildly, Fang Fan's eyes became more and more silent, from beginning to end, more silent. For him, the meaning of this battle has been achieved. The rest is up to you to decide. Haoshan Pavilion practitioners can leave. Hundreds of warships and warships stay. Otherwise, kill without mercy. Fang Fan rose into the air, and then let out a roar, shocking the surroundings. These giant flying warships that can rival the power of a quasi-holy war and the small flying warships that can rival the power of a one-star sanctuary are both good things. It's such a waste, of course it shouldn't be. Fang Fan also wanted to wipe out the nearly 1 million Haoshan Pavilion practitioners, but after thinking about it carefully, he gave up. Understaffed. Moreover, the cultivators of Haoshan Pavilion have already dispersed, and it is unlikely that they want to catch them one by one. Now it can only seek benefits to a great extent. For example, the 100 giant flying warships and 3 small flying warships in front of us are of extraordinary value. With these expansions to the legions under its command, the human Emperor's Hall will be able to directly increase the number of quasi-jihadists and 3 one-star sanctuary forces. As for the strategic plan to capture the practitioners of Haoshan Pavilion, it must be carried out, but it is best to do what is within its means. On the whole, it can't be too persistent. Following Fang Fan's order, the War Slaves Legion, the Emperor's Legion, and the 10 major legions under his command rushed forward. The main goal was to prevent those flying warships and warships from escaping. The scene seemed extremely chaotic for a while. In the distance, Hao Yun, the son of the master of the Haoshan Pavilion who was in a state of avoidance, silently poked his head out. When he saw that Wu Peng, the guardian of the Haoshan Pavilion, was slapped to death by the claw of the colorful dragon, his body couldn't move. Trembling naturally. I've said it a long time ago, and I've reminded you a long time ago, telling you not to commit suicide, you just don't believe it. It doesn't matter if you die now, and the safety of Ben Shao is not guaranteed. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1487. Hao Yun gritted her teeth, with a look of resentment on her face, thinking this way in her heart, then quickly turned around and ran away quickly. At this moment, Hao Yun couldn't help but secretly rejoice in his heart. Fortunately, he was well prepared before, and specially retreated to a distance, otherwise he might have been taken back as a prisoner for the second time now. While running, Hao Yun shook his head and glanced at the endless pursuers behind him. His complexion became paler and paler. Even if he was trembling all over at this moment, his body was trembling extremely. He had no choice but to rush out, not daring to slack off in the slightest. The car in front was dangling in front of my eyes. I was really scared. Also cowardly. At this moment, life is not easy for these cultivators of Haoshan Pavilion in the process of fleeing. The pursuers behind them are chasing too hard, and they are not given a chance to relax. Basically imprisoned himself. What they want are these flying warships and warships. We have a better chance of fleeing from the warships and warships. You are so stupid. Sitting on a battleship and a battleship, we can go faster, and as long as there are enough God crystals and star cores, we can travel all the time. If we escape by ourselves, we won't be able to escape for long. There is not enough spiritual power. Shit. Are you sure our speed is faster? If there is no blocking and pursuit, the speed of the flying warship and the flying warship is indeed fast, but you don't know what's going on now. Those cultivators who are not in the flying warship and the flying warship, the speed of escape is faster, we are imprisoned. Huh, I won't talk nonsense with you. If you want to stay in this iron lump, you can stay there. I'm so scared. Run away. Brothers, those who want to live, jump out of the flying warship with me. Go, go, I'll follow you, this is the way. Huh, that is, the others are all nonsense, and I can't save my life. Does it make sense to talk about other things? It's really interesting, and I don't know what is going on in my mind. The brain is a good thing, but some people don't have it. Hey, the reality is like this, what can I do? Slip away. At the beginning, only some Haitian pavilion practitioners came out of the flying warships and warships to seek a way out. In fact, at this time, most Haitian pavilion practitioners still felt that staying in the flying warships and battleships was the safest. A layer of protection. It's just that as the first batch of Haitian pavilion practitioners who escaped ran farther and farther away, they were about to leave their site, and those Haitian pavilion practitioners who were located on flying warships and warships, the escape speed is getting slower and slower. The flying warships and battleships were being chased and intercepted, so the speed was naturally not much faster. And there are more and more pursuers behind them. At this moment, the mentality of this part of the Haitian pavilion has collapsed directly. Who wants to continue to stay in the flying warship and battleship? This has become a burden. Imagining, they escaped directly from it, and the speed became faster and faster. Flying warships and warships gradually landed from the sky, and most of them fell directly to the ground because of the unmanned pilot. Fortunately, the flying altitude is not very high, and the defense system is relatively sound. Most of them are just deformed, and they can continue to be used after repairing. It's a foregone conclusion. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth rose silently, and he smiled secretly. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1488. This battle is perfect. It also caused some damage at the beginning, and then it went smoothly. Overall, the situation is relatively normal. An hour later, the battle was over. My lord, 73 giant flying warships have been seized. 2 small flying warships. The remaining flying warships and battleships have basically been scrapped. Kill 210,000 Haitian pavilion practitioners and take 170,000 prisoners. Among them, 90,000 were captured in the True King realm, 80,000 in the Emperor's realm, and 90,000 in the quasi-holy realm. Galen rushed forward, with more and more smiles on his face. This is a big harvest. More than 70 giant flying warships, that is, more than 70 quasi-jihad forces. Coupled with 2 small flying warships, it is also equivalent to the combat power of 2 one-star sanctuary. For human Emperor's Palace, these flying warships and the increase in combat power that the flying warships can achieve is really too great. The human Emperor's Palace is waiting to be rebuilt, and it needs to be comprehensive and strong at this moment. My lord, this time we have a great victory in the human Emperor's Palace. The existence of these flying warships and flying warships is enough to arm 1,000,000 soldiers. Zhang Ao, the vice principal of the human Emperor's Hall, walked forward excitedly, looking at these flying warships and flying warships, his eyes turned green. This kind of willpower is even more real at this moment. The people who can fight in the human Emperor's Palace are actually the original team that Fang Fan brought out before, that is, the 10 legions under his command, the 6 heroes and the 4 favorites. Now add a slave army, that's all. As for the other legions of the Emperor's palace, it is even difficult to deal with a practitioner of the Emperor's realm. At this moment, there are so many flying warships and warships that are equivalent to the combat power of quasi-sages and sanctuaries, which is of great significance. Actually, the most valuable are not these warships. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, smiled secretly, and the smiles on his face grew more and more. At this moment, such will gradually become real. These 170,000 captives above the real king realm are of great use. Deputy Hall Master Zhang Ao, haven't you been saying that there is no condition to mine the star crystal mine? Isn't the manpower coming now? While talking, Fang Fan's eyes on the tens of thousands of Haoshan Pavilion prisoners in front of him became much gentler. Well, these are free miners. Or the kind that comes to your door for nothing. It would be even more perfect if all the millions of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners were left as miners. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and at this moment, he actually looked forward to another wave of all-out attack from Haoshan Pavilion. Wouldn't this be able to coerce another wave of high-level miners? But the premise is that Fang Fan can repel Haoshan Pavilion again. Fang Fan's eyes tightened slightly. In fact, being able to repel the Haoshan Pavilion practitioners this time, is also a bit of a fluke. It is also thanks to the promotion of the Blood Shuro Legion to the 1-star Sanctuary realm and the recruitment of the colorful Dragon Annie to the 3-star Sanctuary realm. If not, with Fang Fan's 10 major legions, several heroes, and Huang Gan, the patriarch of the Desolate clan, at most, he could only deal with ordinary 2-star Sanctuary powerhouses. And Wu Peng, the great protector of Haoshan Pavilion who came this time, is a 3-star sanctuary. Not to mention that there are 2 Haoshan Pavilion 1-star sanctuary realm guardians and 3 flying battleships equivalent to 1-star sanctuary combat power to assist. If you want to keep yourself from being humiliated, you have to make yourself stronger. Fang Fan murmured to himself, his eyes flickering brightly. He needs to get stronger. This is the will of the strong. Strong to the extreme, invincible. The human race that is taking off slowly still needs his protection. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1489. My lord, what do you mean, the star crystal mine can be mined now? Zhang Ao raised his head, a look of surprise gradually appeared on his face. He also knows that the energy contained in this star crystal ore is 100 times, 1,000 times or even, 10,000 times that of ordinary god crystal ore. However, those ordinary miners simply do not have the ability to mine this kind of high-energy ore, so all along, there is no treasure mountain to be found. That feeling, too tangled. But now, with so many high-level miners in front of them, it is natural to make full use of a wave. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a blood loss? Certainly. This kind of star crystal mine is mined and smelted, it is star crystal, which can also be called star core. The value of a star core is comparable to trillions of top-grade god crystals. Such a high-level mine vein is very important to our human race. You keep an eye on it yourself. In addition, I will dispatch 10,000 slave soldiers to you. If there is a riot, suppress it directly. Fang Fan snorted coldly, the murderous intent in his eyes. This is the first batch of miners captured by the human race, but it will definitely not be the last batch. Fang Fan flew up and came directly in front of these Haoshan Pavilion prisoners. You are my captive. You will be sent to mine. Become the mine slaves of my human race. This is to repay you for killing. Fang Fan glanced around and smiled slightly. He thinks this is the principle of equivalent exchange. If he was a little weaker, the human race would have perished. At that time, the mineral veins on the human plane will naturally belong to the Haitian pavilion, and belong to these people in front of them, whining. There is no point at all. They are the invaders and the butchers. It's just that Fang Fan's knife is harder than their butcher's knife. So, they became captives, they became lambs to be slaughtered. Their original fate should have been to have their heads all chopped off. Now that they are still alive, they have to sacrifice something. The food of the human race will not support these useless people. If they are really trash, the scythe of death will be aimed at their necks. We are cultivators of Haitian pavilion. We are not mind slaves. We want to apply for the treatment we deserve as a captive. Haitian pavilion will redeem us soon. Or, directly trample your human race and save us. That's right. Haitian pavilion practitioners will never be slaves. Never be slaves. Nobody can make us slaves. Our Haitian pavilion cultivators are strong. Fight, fight, fight. Waves of shouts came, and they seemed quite proud. Fang Fan glanced around, and his face became more and more gloomy. If he was really that tough, he wouldn't be caught without a fight. The cultivator who spoke just now, bring it up and kill him. Fang Fan waved his hand, his eyes looked extremely indifferent. It should be like this right now. They are the enemy. He is a practitioner of Haitian pavilion. They came here to slaughter the human race, so why should Fang Fan be kind to them? This is an equivalent exchange. If you want to live, just mine for me. Be a miner for me. Otherwise, keep it as a meal bucket. The slaves' corps moved in an instant, and directly pulled out more than 1,000 people from the tens of thousands of captives in the Haitian pavilion. You, what are you doing? You actually killed prisoners. Bastards. Bastards. You can't do this. Let go of me. Haitian pavilion will not let you go. You are trying to die. You will definitely die. I don't want to die, don't kill me. My cousin is enshrined in the Haitian pavilion. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1490. With an order, the head fell to the ground. Fang Fan's eyes gradually showed a cold look, and he looked at the more than 1,000 bloody heads on the ground without any throbbing. Anyone else who has an opinion can speak up. Maybe I'm in a good mood and don't care. Maybe in a bad mood, you might be just like them. For those who don't want to mine, you can also say, maybe I'm in a happy mood, so I let you go. Fang Fan walked in front of him as he spoke, his eyes became more and more silent as he spoke. Tens of thousands of Haitian pavilion practitioners trembled instantly. How does this make them say? To say it is to die? Surrendering in the face of death does not seem to be a shameful thing. It's fine now, take them to the star crystal mine. Fang Fan stretched his waist and looked relaxed. Once the mineral veins in the human plane are fully mined, it will be of great significance. My lord, these are the star cores and high-quality cards captured by beheading those Haitian pavilion practitioners. In the distance, Jax delivered a storage ring, which contained the corresponding cards and star cores. These Haitian pavilion practitioners are actually experienced babies to a certain extent. Kill one, and some god crystal cores and cards can be exploded. Generally, cultivators below the quasi-sacred realm exploded with divine crystals, and cultivators above the quasi-sacred realm exploded with star cores. As for the cards, there are many. It can only be said that high-level cultivators are more likely to produce high-quality cards after being beheaded. Fang Fan opened the storage ring and took a look. There are about 1,000 star cores and 20 or 30 cards, all of which are quasi-holy or above. The low-level cards have been screened out long ago, and the remaining cards are absolutely super high-quality cards. Most of them are quasi-holy level promotion cards, used to promote the Legion. The value is average, and there are 2 quasi-holy level blank cards. I can't use my god level engraving skills for the time being. The remaining few cards are the essence. Holy Imprisonment card. After using it, you can directly imprison 5-star Sanctuary and below level practitioners for 3 seconds. Holy Weapon card. After opening it, you may get a holy weapon. Holy Bloodline card. After opening, you will get a holy bloodline. Quasi-Holy Pet Experience card. It can be used to upgrade the pet. Note, the level of the pet cannot be lower than the 10-star Emperor realm. Quasi-Holy Enchantment card. Fang Fan's eyes focused on those holy cards. As the name suggests, the Saint-level imprisonment card is used to imprison the strong in the Sanctuary. As long as it is a cultivator below the level of the 5-star Sanctuary, it can be directly imprisoned, so powerful. The Holy Weapon card and the Holy Blood card need to be opened to know what it is. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then opened the Holy Weapon card first. Open the Holy Weapon card. Ding. Obtain the Growth Type Sacred Weapon, the God and Demon Battleship *1. Name, God and Demon Battleship. Level, 1-star Hallows, can be promoted. Remarks, this is a special warship with astonishing power. God and Demon Battleship? 1-star Holy Artifact? What is the difference from those small flying warships? Fang Fan murmured, the warship of gods and demons had appeared in front of his eyes. From the overall structure, it was much smaller than those small flying warships. It seemed that it was only 2 or 3 meters high and 10 meters long. Compared with the huge bodies of those flying warships that are often over 1,000 meters long, this is a younger brother.